The LA Chargers recently made a quiet but intriguing move by signing a unique free agent. There was a lot of buzz around a few key signings, but this player might have slipped under the radar. Let's dive into it. In just a few days, the Chargers made several notable moves. The biggest name was likely the signing of a massive guard who won a Super Bowl last year as a starter for the Eagles. Alongside him were players like Dillon Phillips, Mike Williams, and Nakan Jones. But there's one signing that really stands out and deserves more attention: Nakan Jones. Jones, a defensive tackle, is an interesting addition to the team. Finding quality defensive tackles can be a challenge, especially ones who can be truly productive. What's even more interesting about Jones is that he wasn't drafted, which makes his journey even more unique. He started with the Titans, spending a few years on their practice squad with little to show for it. From there, he bounced between the Cardinals and Dolphins, primarily staying on practice squads. But things started to change during his last season with the Cardinals, where he finally started to make a name for himself. What makes Jones stand out is that he might be on the rise, unlike many free agents who are older or have been sidelined by injuries. With free agency, teams often end up paying big money for veterans whose best years are behind them. But Jones is a player with untapped potential. While other free agents are known for their past achievements, Jones is an example of a player who might be entering the best years of his career. Here's a quick look at what he's capable of. Last season, he made a significant impact with a big play against the Chargers, showcasing his ability to break through the line and make a key sack. This is why his signing is so exciting. It's not often you find a defensive tackle like him who is available at a reasonable price and potentially still improving. What if Nakan Jones's best years are still ahead of him? That's the exciting part. At 27 years old, there's plenty of time for him to grow and improve. Standing at 6 feet 3 inches and weighing in at 311 pounds, Jones had an impressive run at Michigan State, where he was a dominant force. It's surprising that he went undrafted, especially considering his talent. After bouncing between a few teams, he's finally starting to show what he's capable of in the NFL, rather than just staying on practice squads. That makes his signing even more intriguing, and I'm excited to see what he could accomplish moving forward. As for the Chargers' overall free agent moves, PFF gave them a grade of B-, which seems fair, though not necessarily outstanding. It's solid, but not the kind of grade you'd expect after big off-season moves. Some players like Deshaun Hahn have had injury struggles, and while he hasn't been able to start regularly for a couple of years, he's still an interesting addition. But what if you could grab a player like Jones, someone who's actually on the upswing of their career? That's the challenge, finding those rare gems in free agency. Players like Mike Williams, Harris, and Dante Jackson are known quantities, and it's easier to know what you're getting with them. But players like Khalil Mack are no-brainers. He's the kind of signing you just can't pass up. Jones, however, is one to really keep an eye on. His signing is a smart, under-the-radar move that could pay off big time without overspending. Here's a quick comparison. Deshaun Hahn is 29 years old, standing 6 feet 3 inches and weighing 300 pounds, while Nakan Jones, at 27, is also 6 feet 3 inches and weighs 300 pounds, 311 pounds. This shows just how much potential Jones still has at his age, and why he's a valuable addition as a rotational piece on the defensive line. The Chargers are making smart moves, focusing on adding depth rather than making big, flashy splashes. While the draft is where the real excitement lies, these smaller free agent signings are still important. The Chargers are being strategic, not overpaying or making unnecessary moves. They're building depth, especially in areas like cornerback and the defensive line, which will strengthen the team as a whole. There are still a few notable players left on the market, especially when it comes to the interior offensive line and wide receivers. Names like Amari Cooper, Stephon Diggs, and even Keenan Allen are still out there, so there's definitely room for more moves. It's not like every top player has already been signed, which leaves the door open for more additions. The Chargers also have a need at tight end, and while they've made progress, Adding more depth to the roster, especially in the edge defender position, could be a smart move. But if you're a Chargers fan, you've got to be excited because the draft is really where the focus should be. We've discussed the draft picks before, but it's always worth revisiting, especially with the Chargers strategy. What's interesting is that the Chargers have one pick from New England, but the rest are compensation picks. This was exactly what Joe Ortiz planned for: drafting well, letting players go, and getting compensatory picks in return. The strategy is clear: keep drafting well and keep stacking those picks year after year. Looking ahead, the Chargers have some solid options in the draft. One of the key positions they need to address is tight end, and they're projected to take a player like Coulson Lelands, who could be a great addition. A wide receiver and even a fresh running back are also on the radar. The beauty of the draft is that a rookie can immediately make an impact on your team, just like we saw with Ladd McConkey. The Chargers don't need to panic about not signing every big-name free agent. They've got plenty of picks to bring in fresh talent. With 10 picks, the Chargers have the opportunity to inject a lot of youth into the roster. You can find hidden gems in later rounds, like a solid running back in the 5th or 6th round, who might surprise everyone. So, while free agency moves are important, the real magic will come from the draft. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. It helps you stay up to date with our latest videos, so you never miss out on the newest content. There's a lot more to come, both from free agency and the draft, and I look forward to hearing what you think.